Happy Facebook Live time and happy Tuesday. My name is Melissa Kerman and my business is Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. This week is kind of a special week because we are in the countdown to the retirement of the current annual catalog, the 2020-2021 annual catalog, and I am on a mission to share as much as I possibly can of the products that are retiring. It's my way of kind of saying goodbye to these lovely products, some of which I've played a lot with, some of which I've played a little with, and I am using my card salad baggies as creative jumping off points for creating some really cute, fun, quick projects. So today I am sharing the stamp set called Beautiful World. I'm sort of sad to say that I've kind of neglected this set, so I'm finally getting around to doing something with it. But I do have something in here, one of my card salad baggies where I stamped some of these items, but I never actually made something with it. So I'm excited to share it, and I actually have two projects that I'm going to show to you. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn the camera facing down and show you my project. So now, I am kind of on a mission in doing these little pop-up parties in just really trying to keep it simple and quick. Now I did end up doing a post for my project from yesterday with some photos and some basic details. So just know I'm going to try to do the same thing with these projects. So for some of the additional details, you can go to my blog post, which will most likely come out tomorrow. So what you see here are some little pieces and parts that were actually in two different baggies, really. This piece, which of course is stamped with some images from the Beautiful World set. And these ones were also in the same baggie because I used the same technique on the background. Now, when I post my blog, share this blog post for what I'm doing today, I will share a link to some of the original projects that I made using the technique that's done on these, because that's what sort of put them in the same baggie. It's a technique that uses acrylic blocks with ink pads, and I think I showed 11 different ways to use the blocks in my original post. You'll definitely want to go check that out after the fact. So you can see, like, this one was done with this block, obviously multiple colors. This one was done with two different size blocks to get my shapes there. And then this last one, which is the one I'm going to mostly be working with today, well, I'll also be working with that one, was done with this block. That said, I also had this set of images here that are stamped, a lot of them with the same color that's used here in this focal piece. So that's the Seaside Spray, which is one of the colors that's actually going away. So sad. It's an in color that's retiring with this catalog as well. And then I've also used Soft Sea Foam for the pale green in here. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in to what I had in mind. So I'm going to put my blocks aside since I'm not actually showing that part today. And what we're going to start with is working with this piece right here. So now this was stamped with Jet Black Stays On ink right directly onto there. This is watercolor paper. Hi Linda. Hi Patricia. Hi MJ. Yay, so glad to see people here. Now I did side two as well. Watercolor paper, right? So I tried it in a couple different ways on the back side. Thank you for sharing, Linda. I appreciate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stamp on the back side, and then we're going to pick which one I like. I do this a lot, just because, you know, why not? So the way I did it on this side, okay, there we go. Let's see. Oh, I think the blue should be up top, and I'm going to just stamp this little base for my globe here on the bottom right hand side. And actually, let's gauge where my world is going to be first. Make sure I don't cut it off. So let's try that. Now, watercolor paper is a very sort of grainy paper, and it takes water really well. As you can see, I've got this wonderful mix of watery ink colors on there. So sometimes, and look what I did. I stamped my little base upside down. Well, let's see what it looks like anyway. What the heck? So maybe my base actually is it's got a funny flat, not flat bottom. Oh my gosh, I'm cracking myself up right now. Okay, so there's that one. On the other side where I stamped it the correct way, the world should sit in this round part. I literally, I'm just cracking myself up. I might just have to use this side because I stamped my image upside down. Oh my goodness, the joys of live TV. All right, we'll put that aside. So guess what I'm using? Well, as you can see, on this side I stamped it much darker. And I don't know, it doesn't actually look so bad there, but the ink came out much, sort of more bold. I was more careful with how much ink I got on my stamp than on this side. The reason why this didn't come out was partly because I might not have had as much ink on there, or because of the graininess of the paper itself. So just word to the wise on that one. I'm going to go ahead and use this side since, my little boo-boo on the back side. And I've got some pieces already planned out for this. So I am going to use a Seaside, this is soft seafoam for my card base, this nice lovely pale green. You can see the same green in there. And then I've grabbed a couple of other pieces, which I have adhesive on the back side. This is going to be a super simple little design. And I'm going to use my white glue for the back side of my focal piece. I really did like the color of the watery pretty colors on the back side there, so oh well, what can you do, right? So I'm just going to attach that to my Seaside spray, and then I've just made myself a layer of the Misty Moonlight, which just goes beautifully with the Seaside spray, and I'm just going to frame it. I think that sets it off so well. It's just so pretty, right? And then now I have some decisions to make because I want to put a sentiment on here, and I do have adhesive on the back side of this. I'm going to kind of be tricky here and just kind of place it generally where I want it. So I'm thinking I got two thoughts on how I want to do this, but no matter how I do it, I'm going to center my focal element onto this piece of mint macaron. And now what I'm not sure of whether I want to do is, do I want to justify it up and put a sentiment down at the bottom, or do I want to center it top to bottom and put a little sentiment here? So I'm going to show you some things that I contemplated for sentiment. So now, I know I've shown this to you before, so I have this little container of sentiments that I've stamped and not ended up using, and I've punched the ends of these ones, so I have these ones to play with if I want. And I got that one. And then I also have stamped this set. I think it's called Many Messages. And I've got a ton of sentiment choices in that one. And let's see. So this is how it comes when you stamp the whole thing all at the same time. You see that? Like a ton of sentiments all at the same time. The die cuts out all of them at the same time, which is just lovely. So I've done that for my black. I've also done one in navy. And so I can just go in here and grab whatever sentiments I might want. This was another stamping that I've die cut in the black. And I actually put adhesive on the back side of all of these also. So they're just at the ready for me to play with. Now the few that I had thought that might work, I'm just going to kind of lay them out, see what we think. I think the thank you so very much is really cute. And then I also thought about sending happy thoughts, just super easy. Or if I justify it up towards the top, I was thinking I might do this one. For some reason, this so happy to hear of your exciting news just seems fitting for the world image. So that on the bottom. So, of course, I'd have to justify this up towards the top. There's adhesive on here, so I'm just not pressing it down just so that I can gauge my spacing. I don't know. I'm looking for comments. Need reinforcement. What do you guys think? That on the bottom. I kind of think I want to go with one of the little itty bitty sentiments because it just looks so cute. And then we can really just focus on that world image. So that's what I'm going to do. Not giving you guys much opportunity to respond, am I? Sending happy thoughts, like you're on a vacation and you're sending happy thoughts to people who are back at home That's what I'm going to do. Sending happy thoughts. So yes, oh, I'm glad you like the colors, Linda. I know they're really soft, pretty colors. So this is my finished card, right? So I started my card salad, obviously with just the focal piece, and just cut some coordinating colored cardstock. I could, of course, use this. This is kind of big, but some of these others might have been nice. Just a little note would have been cute. But anyway, I have lots of sentiments to choose from when I'm kind of playing around because I've got myself well set up. So there's my finished card. Easy peasy, right? Shall I say lemon squeezy? With my beautiful world set. Now I have one other project I wanted to show you. And for this one, I'm going to do a bit of an adaptation of the card that I made when I stamped this. Get my space organized here. Neaten it up. So let's grab some additional images from my set. So I've got my feather and my, what is that, compass. And then this sentiment, which I just love, you make the world a better place. And I have used that on a few cards. It's probably my favorite image in the set. And now I contemplated black or espresso. I just love doing black, but I think I'm going to try the espresso just for the heck of it. So we're going to use my early espresso, and I am going to just stamp some images into these little blocks, these watercolor blocks. I want to make sure it's well inked. Now on my original design, which I will show you in a bit, I used images from Forever Fern, which I absolutely love. And you can see the graininess of that watercolor paper. This is watercolor paper again. And I'm just going to do that kind of on an angle. And then when I do my feather, I'm going to actually mask it at the bottom because I don't want it to go below the confines of the little shape. So there's my feather, and I'm just going to stamp that. That way or that way? This way's fine. There we go. Ah, I got the edge. Oh, I hate when that happens. I usually cut my stamps down, but as you can see, I've got ink on the edge, so I got ink over there. You know what I'm going to do? First of all, I'm going to do this so that the edge is a little cleaned up. And then this is where maybe it's just a happy accident. Let's see what happens. I stamped off. I'm going to add another image there. Makes it a little bit less noticeable. And then another one in here. Still can see it. It's okay. What can you do, right? Live TV. Now I do have a little tool that you've probably seen me use before. Let's see if I can find it. Just to, let's see if I can soften that extra ink just a tiny bit. Hi, Christy. So good to see you as you're traveling all over the world, so to speak. So I'm going to try to just erase some of that excess ink in there, just a little bit. See if I can remove it. It's probably not going to work too well since I already have. I'm just going to go with it. It's going to have to be what it is. I actually kind of like it. You know what? I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to do full ink over where this is, and in an effort to make it a little bit less noticeable, but I'm still leaving the other in behind, so you get some depth there. All right, that's what I got. All right, now I wanted to do some little specks up to the sides, and I meant to grab a stamp to use for that, and let's see. Forgot to grab it, so give me one quick second. And I don't know if I have something handy. Let's see. Darn. Okay, we'll go a different route. I'm going to do my specks with a little bit of espresso and one of my water painters. So instead of stamping it, I'm gonna actually do some specks with my brush. So I've got my Early Espresso re-inker here. And I want it to be pretty watery, because I don't want them to be too dark. I'll test it on my scrap paper here. Okay. Okay, we're going to go with it. Just trying to get some subtle specks in the white spaces. Be easier with a stamp. Getting them on my scrap paper. I think that's going to do it. All right, so now just set that aside, and I'm going to put this together. I'll show you. Okay, that's pretty dry. So I've got a white card base, and I've got a piece of Granny Apple Green, which was the color that I used up here, and I'm just justifying it to the spine. And then I've got a piece of Cinnamon Cider, which was one of the colors used down in here. And I'm going to lay that down, just kind of gauge my spacing, and then I'll decide where to put this. I think that'll do. Now I want dimensionals on the back side of my watercolor piece. Put a bunch of those in there. Keep forgetting about my adhesive sheets. That would be so much quicker. Been neglecting them. The adhesive sheets are great because you can just put a big sheet on the back and be done with it. If you have fingernails, works okay to do the dimensionals too. All right, so there we go. Just going to place that down. And there is my redo of my original project. So let's look at the original project. So that was the first one that I did with my Forever Fern set. And when I demonstrated that, of course, I demonstrated this background, so that's why it became Card Salad. I had an extra piece there. And on this one, I have a little bit of gold twine in there. I have used every last bit of this gold twine, which is retiring. Hi, Debbie. And then here was another version that I did with all the one size block. And actually, because I added all those specks in here, you can't even tell that I have that line there. Nobody noticed, right? So those were my original designs. And then just to kind of bring this together, I, of course, had this one in this color scheme, and I played around with this color scheme with some of my blocks as well. And this was a project that I created with this color scheme. I have never shared this anywhere, so I may just have to put it into this blog post so you guys can all see it. But there are my finished projects for today. So fun, right? I finally did a little bit of playing with my Beautiful World set now that it's retiring. So we got until May 3rd to buy these retired items. And of course, this is the only thing retiring that I'm showing today. But I hope you enjoyed my project. So make sure to check out my blog post that will, like I said, be up sometime tomorrow. And I'll be posting this video to YouTube. So if you're watching live or on the replay, thanks for joining me. Feel free to share this video with anybody and everybody you want. And I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, I might be back tomorrow too. So stay tuned for more fun with Card Salad and another pop-up party. So thanks for joining me, everybody. And I'll see ya again soon. Thanks for the heart, somebody. I'm glad you liked the projects, Christy. Yay. All right. Okay, bye everyone. You're welcome. You loved them all. Wonderful. Thank you, MJ. I'm so glad to know. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.